pretty dope.
Let's start this baby off. Hello
Hell yeah.
and welcome everybody to the latest episode of SONIQ WAVEZ with the rock band Fire and Ice, ladies and gentlemen. Joining us today is lead vocalist John Tora, Marc Spider, Sparrow, and Mike Gemini. Guys, how are you guys doing today?
We're fantastic.
Doing pretty
great.
well. Doing really well.
Surviving the cold.
Good to see you.
That's what's up.
Get my sympathy.
So, how long have you guys been a band together? If you don't mind us asking.
Well, I'll let Johnny say it.
Well, Fire and Ice, we formed in the fall of 2022, going into 2023. The band started with me and our original guitarist Shane Chester. The band, how it started off originally, it formed when I met Marc. I met Marc in a different band and we played. That band didn't work out. So then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to stop, trying to form together this kind of 80s metal band. So I had found Shane's profile on an app called Bandmix. I reached out to Shane and I said, hey, you look like the kind of guy that's looking to do what I'm trying to do. We connected. Later, I found out that Shane used to play in a band with Marc. So it started with the three of us at first. And then we were like, we need to find a drummer. So later on, going into 2023, so specifically January 2023, Shane suggested Mike to be our drummer. And pretty much from there, we've been together, the four of us, since 2023. But we had a bit of a little hiatus in between. So really, I guess things started to really kick off going into 2024.
How often do you guys play together, if you don't mind us asking?
We usually play. Go ahead, Marc.
We usually try to play almost every single weekend. The only thing that kind of preventing playing almost every single day, like normal bands would do, was that we were more spread apart. Mike's in Bayonne, I'm in Bergen County. Shane was in the Bronx, and John was in Long Island. So for us, it was heck of a trip to even connect to each other, in which I was the main mode of transport. So, but we made it work. We made it work to get as far as we are today. I mean, we made everything possible.
No, it sounds like the journey has been a long one, and it looks like you guys have actually grown a lot in the last 2-3 years. This would be your third year as a group together, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So, what are some venues that you guys have played? How big are the crowds that you guys usually play for, if you don't mind me asking?
What we call our turf would be Dingbats in Clifton, New Jersey. We usually pull probably 20 to 30 people, sometimes even more if we can get all friends, family out. But we've played Dingbats. The biggest venue we've ever played was the Sherman Theater in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, opening for a Journey tribute band called Frontiers, and we've also played at the Starland Ballroom in Sayreville, New Jersey, opening for Steven Adler of Guns N' Roses.
That's dope.
That's pretty cool.
You're leaving a couple out, Mike.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, I was saying the big main ones.
Where are we going back in July?
Well, no, keep going. If you
That's right.
share.
How could I forget?
How
could you forget, man? We're going back there this July.
We've headlined the Whiskey A Go Go in Los Angeles in July. We were the co-headliner for a No Doubt tribute band at the Viper Room in Los Angeles, and we did a co-headline show with Sunset Riot at the Rainbow Bar and Grill in Los Angeles. All
in 1 week.
Yeah.
So who manages you guys?
We manage ourselves.
We're self-managed.
We've been independent for since the very, very beginning. It is hard work.
we have to book the shows, we have to make the decisions and everything. But to get to where we are today, it's been a heck of a trip. I mean, it's a lot of work, obviously, but we made it happen. We made everything happen.
It's
Nice.
it's a lot involved. The amount that goes into this, but we're all proud of ourselves for what we've accomplished in the span of about 2 years. Because going from just a small band starting off in Long Island, going to New Jersey, and then from going to New Jersey, headlining Los Angeles. I mean, that's a big jump in a short span of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And you're going from coast to coast.
Kudos to you guys for getting it all done.
No, continue, J-Man. That's really like a major accomplishment, man. You're known across the states. That's fucking dope, bro. And your music's out there for the world to listen to. And I'll be real with you, that High Roller album, banger, my guys.
Yeah,
banger,
Thank you so much.
It sounds like this is a story of the trials and tribulations of being in a band in 2026.
But what it's really like, right?
I see the same patterns with bands out here and guys that I know. You've got guys living in different cities, spread out, and they got to make the time to come together and practice. And that a lot of them are independent like you guys, and they're booking their own gigs, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I know. I'm an ex-musician myself, so I used to do that shit back in the day, and so I know what you guys are going through, and we appreciate you. Just so you know.
Thank you.
And thank you for keeping the art form alive.
Yes,
You guys got some
anytime.
solid
We love
songs,
it.
man. I mean, I love the new album's really cool. I even checked out some of your guys' older work, like Hypnotized. That was a pretty good EP that you guys released. Black Widow is also a really good song too. I really like that one. But yeah, it's cool. I don't know, like what was it? Was it High Roller, where the beginning of High Roller is so interesting because it reminds me of Money
That's
from
All
Pink
In.
Floyd. And I don't know, like
Oh,
it just
that's
builds
the
it up,
intro track, All In.
and then the
Oh
guitar,
yeah.
like like I don't know.
So who came up with
It's
the
just
intro
good.
track?
So that
That was
was
my idea.
that was Mike's idea.
The whole concept of the album High Roller was my idea, and it came about. I've always been fascinated with the album cover of Straight Shooter by Bad Company, where it has the dice and the poker table.
Yep.
I said to the band, I was like, because we've always wanted to do stuff original. We don't want to copy anyone, or we don't want to. We try not to, we try to do our own thing, basically. So I had said, besides Straight Shooter, I've never seen anyone do a casino style vibe like album. So I said, why don't we do an album where it's us on the cover at a poker table, looking at our cards, and I can be like looking at Shane like cheating off his hand, like have a little comedy in it. So when everyone agreed, I said we need something like an opener to fit that style. So we were going over, title names and everything, and I said, how about All In? And it came to be our producer Betto was the special feature on that with his guitar sweeps, making it sound like it was a jackpot machine, the slot machine, yes,
Like slot machine.
And then the voice that says "I'm all in" was my voice, just very deep tuned down.
It was just pitched down. That was more like a nod to this one Extreme song, He-Man Woman Hater. And that's one of our favorite songs. Me and Mike have somewhat of a love affair for Extreme. And
Yes.
when he showed me that song in particular, All In, All Finished and everything, I'm like, that's He-Man Woman Hater. Like, oh my God, dude, that's amazing.
That's dope. I'm gonna have to check that song out. He-Man Woman Hater.
I'm writing these songs down, man. I mean, these songs.
Over here, Mr.
Taking
Angelo,
notes.
I love it. So What is some of your guys' inspiration on the music that you guys produce? Because everything you guys have put out is original music you guys have written, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
So what's the inspiration behind it?
Well, as far as, I mean, at least for me, for artist wise, I take a lot of big inspiration from Cinderella, Van Halen, Zeppelin, and other acts like Journey.
Shout out to Jerry.
That's like my personal take when it comes to like songwriting.
For me, it would be Aerosmith is they're my heroes. They're my number one favorite. Aerosmith, Van Halen is another one. Led Zeppelin, Guns N' Roses, Extreme, Rat. You know, the list goes on. But you know, my biggest inspiration was always Aerosmith. That's the band that I've looked up to since I was a toddler. Like when I was like 4 years old, my dad would be listening to Aerosmith, and one day he had the movie Wayne's World 2 on, and the scene where Wayne and Garth are at the Aerosmith concert and they're performing "Dude Looks Like a Lady." I see Joey Kramer behind the drums, and I'm like, that's who I want to be. I want to be just like Joey because he had the cool look, like all the black with his hair in a ponytail. He just looks so cool to me. So, and also my dad is also a drummer, so I learned a lot from him. But like artist wise, I've always looked up to Joey Kramer as my biggest inspiration.
Cool.
That's dope.
Awesome.
Not for me. Well, playing obviously, Kip Winger. I mean, Winger, the band Winger. Everybody in the band knows that I'm a really big nutcase for like soft rock or like melodic rock or kind of stuff. Kiss is one of my biggest main influences, stage wise and songwriting wise. Singing obviously is Marc Free, who recently passed away not too long ago. And a lot of my music inspiration comes from like very obscure bands like Stars, Angel, and Flip.
Stars.
Yeah,
All
Stars.
right.
Love. I've been introduced to Stars like for a long time now, and I'm like, oh, I love this band so much.
Oh
Violation
yeah,
is
I
one of
love
my
those
favorite
guys.
albums of all time, and
Yeah.
the first debut album was a very fantastic album. Um, but what definitely got me into playing music was actually my uncle. He lives in Peru, and he plays
Hey,
music.
Nelson.
That's
Hey,
my boy
Nelson,
right there. Is he
our
Peruvian?
local
Are you
Peruvian.
guys Peruvian?
I'm 100% Peruvian
Mark
here.
is.
My
My
family was born in
boy, my
Lima.
paisa, chibuca,
Yeah.
yo, brother, I love you.
¿Qué
All right.
pasa,
That's
mi
my
cosita? ¿Qué
Where
pasa,
you guys
Michelle?
from? What part of Peru are
My
you guys
parents are
from?
from Lima. My
Okay.
parents are from Lima. My dad specifically, he's from Callao, so he's Chimpún Callao,
That's my
100%. My mom's from San
boy.
Juan de Lurigancho.
Okay.
I was born here in New Jersey. But like I'm saying, my biggest influence is parts of my family. My cousin, she's a symphony orchestral instructor. She conducts music. She writes music,
Oh.
music sheets. And my uncle who plays um, old Peruvian music, criollo and música huayno. And I kind of do blame my dad because he plays a lot of music. And
Oh, I
same thing with
know.
my mom. They kept playing music when I was in my mom's womb at the time. So that's how I came out all freaky and everything.
Dog, I can relate with the winos. My daddy used to play that shit every time he'd go play soccer, and we would just bump to that shit in the
Oh,
car.
dude, I love it, man. I love it so much. It reminds me
Dog,
of family and everything. And you know,
it's a
it tugs the heartstrings just a bit.
dude, it's a trip, dog. I never in 1,000 years would have thought you were Peruvian and you would have listened to winos. My God, I love it, Mark. I love it. Sparrow, what about you, my guy? What influences your music?
So for me personally, my number one band for me that influenced me was Megadeth, 100%. So I remember just listening. Like I bought Rest in Peace just on my phone at the time. It was Google Music. I was in high school, I was just playing it randomly in the background, and then the song "Tornado of Souls" came on. That opening riff blew my fucking head open. From that moment on out, became a metalhead. But even before that, like my favorite band then was the Foo Fighters, actually. And I remember this day. It was, July 15th, 2015 is when they played in Citi Field here in New York. And I just remember watching that whole show. And when this was actually, by the way, this was the tour when Dave Grohl broke his leg. So he was doing that tour on the throne.
Oh wow!
And
no, that's interesting, man. That's actually really cool. You guys mentioned earlier before we started the actual show that you guys all went to a concert together. What was the concert, and how did you guys all each like end up there? If you don't mind me asking.
So we
So I remember this vividly, 100%. This was 2019. This was the first time I was seeing Steel Panther live in concert at the Gramercy Theater in New York City. Out of nowhere, this big guy in a white jacket and a white fedora, he's hanging out with us, and he has like a sign that's like, I think it was like, "I love you, Sticks Zadinia."
no,
And little did I know,
I challenged Sticks to a drum duel.
yeah, there you go. It was that one. Little did I know that I was gonna be bandmates with this fucking guy. I was like, oh man, this is what a trip.
What we were talking about before the interview was when we all were at the same Kiss concert in 2019 at Madison Square Garden, but this was before we all knew each other. So I was at the Madison Square Garden show. Mark was there and John was there, but we didn't know each other, and we were all like spread out through the arena. But when we all found out that we were at the same concert, it blew my mind, because it was like, wow, looking back, like it's like I had no idea that three of my bandmates, who I consider my family, are in the building with me. Would have never thought that.
No, John, continue. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was gonna say I'm thinking back of that show. I remember I had like poorly done Ace Frehley makeup, and I had a comb over. Before I had as my old guitar teacher would say, my metal cap.
I was also in Ace Frehley makeup too, so I wouldn't be surprised if John and I crossed paths, because I remember seeing people with Ace Frehley makeup.
Rest in peace, Ace.
I remember I fell when I got home. Yep, rest in peace, Ace. I remember when I got home, I fell asleep with it on, and I remember waking up and my pillow was smeared with all the makeup, which is probably very unsafe to do. I could have got a really bad infection, but rock and roll, baby.
Hey, fuck it, man. You only live once, right? Isn't Paul currently in the hospital, or wasn't he dealing with like vocal issues recently?
I think that was a long time ago, honestly.
I think Gene. I heard Gene.
It was Gene, because he got in a.
It was Gene. He had a car accident.
Oh yeah.
And he probably made a quick buck from telling the story. One thing you got to remember is always keep your eyes on the road.
Wise words.
That's John's thing. Man. He's very good at impressions.
He's very good at impressions. He can give you the best impression of anybody else, and this guy's just like a wind-up toy, you know.
I've been told by people I'm known as a parrot, because I can mimic any singer I choose to, as well as people I'm around. I can mimic like sounding like them.
Except me. He can never mimic me.
No.
No.
It really depends.
That's cool, man. Guys, do you guys have any other questions you want to ask these guys? Because I got a couple more that I kind of want to ask them.
Yeah, for your guys' like album, like recording it, and it must have been like a huge step in, you know, your guys' like trajectory as a band and everything, and just moving forward with an actual album. What were some like adjustments, or like what were some troubles you guys had with any like songs? You know, was it a smooth process, or did you guys have like some like one song where like took like a couple weeks while the rest were seamless?
I mean, it was definitely a lot of discipline. You know, evolving from the EP, when we did Hypnotize, that was all done by ourselves. We had no professional producer. When we recorded that, that was at my house in my studio basement and at Mark's house. And when it came down to the final production, it was Mark and
It wasn't what we wanted.
yeah,
It didn't leave a pretty good lasting impression on us.
yeah,
Mixing wise, it was just a little weird. And the thing is that the really big thing with that EP is that we rushed it. We rushed that EP like it was nothing. We just wanted that EP out already.
yeah.
And I think that was one of the biggest mistakes that we've done, but it's a happy mistake because we had something to show for it, and people were listening to our music, and they were saying that this music's pretty good. But we did receive a lot of good critique, people telling us instead of doing this, why don't you do this instead? And that's kind of the kind of critique what we're always looking for. Whether it be a harsh critique or anything that's not as close to bad mouthing or anything. That's exactly what we always look for. We always look out for stuff like that.
So, and that was the whole thing with that album. Like the songs were good. Like we had good songs. It's just the quality wasn't there. It was described to the extent of a stereotypical 80s cassette demo, which of course it was kind of the whole energy we were trying to get like the 80s. But as far as quality, we were like, no, this doesn't sound as good as it should be. It could be better. So that's when we decided to say, when we were going to record this album, we got to do it professionally. If you're going to do something, you got to do it right at least.
So how much
on that note, how did you guys wind up at Hellbound Studios? That's the name of the place, right?
Yeah, Hellhound.
Hellhound.
Mark would be the one to answer that because he's the one that introduced us.
All right, so years before I even met these guys, I was in another band. And it was a thrash metal band. So going from thrash metal to hair metal was kind of a change for me. So I've known that studio for as long as I remember. We used to go to a different studio when these guys were in another band called Conquer at Will. That was in like near Yonkers in New York. Then we started going to another studio in Bayonne, which was closer to Mike's house. Unfortunately, they decided to close shop for good. That gave us no other choice but to go to Hellhound Studio, which I told them like we can go to Hellhound Studio. It's right there in Rahway. It's I know that place and I know the guy Eddie, and we just started making the arrangements. We did a few rehearsals over there, and we were pretty solidified with that studio. We had a really good impression with the studio, and I haven't been in that studio in a while. Then I noticed, because this was like a long time. The last time I was in that studio was like 2017. Then coming back like in 2024 with these guys. I did not know that the guy Eddie, who was running the place, now was beginning to do mixing and mastering and studio recording. And when we heard about that, we said, let's keep that in the back burner for now. And once he's ready to do this like mixing studio stuff, we can revisit that in case we want to do this album. And lo and behold, that's how we ended up. We all decided to just go ahead and record the entire album at Hellhound Studio.
And it was kind of funny when we were planning to do the album, they were doing the construction for the recording studio.
Oh yeah.
So by the time we had like a majority of the material ready to start like recording and getting a head start on this album, they had just finished the construction on the studio. So we're like, this is the sign to start going in, and many other bands record in that studio. But I think we were the first band to put out a full length album from that studio.
Really?
Since it's
if we're not mistaken, we were
so.
definitely one of the first that recorded a full length album there. We could be wrong, but we were definitely one of the first.
So how long did it take you guys to put together the album?
Ooh, well.
So that started January, right? We started between January and February.
We started the album in November of 2024 going into 25. That's when we started laying down the foundation. When those first sessions started, we started picking songs that we had already started playing live, saying, okay, we have these songs. This is what we're going to record. We decided on this album to bring back 2 tracks that we did on the EP previously, which was Escape Into the Night and Lust for Love, which have become big fan favorites amongst our fans. And we felt like those songs didn't get the justice that it had on the EP, and that it deserves a re-record to really show what the potential it has. So we started off by doing those tracks because we already had knew them, and it was just a 1, 2, 3 process. But once we got into the studio and really like started recording, we were thinking in our heads like, this is going to be simple. We know these songs. We're going to get it down. That's when our producer Betto comes into play, and I love him so much because he has taught us a lot about discipline and when it comes to recording. Because we'll like play something and we're thinking in our heads like, oh, this is perfect. And he's like, let's re-record that again. And he'll like show us our mistakes.
The one thing I've loved about Betto is that he reminds me of Bob Ezrin, who recorded the Alice Cooper albums. He recorded Kiss Destroyer. Was that he was very, very critiquative of like this has to be done. Let's try it again. Let's keep trying it again. And the fact that we're no longer using analog tapes, it makes it easier for us. We're using digital, so sky's the limit with how many takes we can do.
Yeah,
But
when we were
all
recording,
these takes, they do kind of take a toll on us. But it is in the end, it is absolutely worth it, because we do not want to leave a bad impression with this album. We don't want the album to be, say that, oh, it's good enough. It's not good enough. We want this album to be as pristine. We want this album to be as good. So that way, people can listen to this album, they can enjoy it, and they can, hear everything that they can, versus working on a computer by yourself and building up the album independently, which I found out myself that it's a little bit hard to do it, especially when you have 4 people from different parts. It's much more better if you're doing that as a solo artist at your home studio. In a much bigger setting with a bigger group of people, it is better to do a recording studio. I mean, a recording of an album in a studio.
Yeah.
I mean,
the one thing that I remember, the one thing I remember, when we first started laying the foundation down for High Roller, before we found out that Hellhound had completed the construction, we had laid down demo tracks at another studio that isn't around anymore, and the engineer was very good, very friendly, but he was kind of going off like, if we felt like it was good, then he would be like, okay, we're not gonna fix anything. But like Marc said, when we met up with Betto at Hellhound, he pushed us to be, to our like potential. Like he got like if like when John said, yeah. Like when we thought, like John said, when we thought like the take was great, he was like, no, you can do so much better. And he just kept pushing us, which is something I've always looked for. If I feel something's right and I hear someone else say, no, it could be better, I'm listening to the other person. I like when I'm pushed, when I'm challenged, because it'll make you a better musician at the end. Hey. And Beto's like our band dad. Like he watched over us. He made sure everything was perfect, and he did an amazing job with the album. So anyone listening out there, if you ever need a great engineer, mixer, producer, whatever, definitely hit up Betto Andrade from Hellhound Studios.
Yeah, I wanted to say, it sounds to me like Betto kind of either had or shared a vision with you guys of what this was supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
If you kind of get my drift. I mean, a good producer, just like a good movie director, should have a vision of that perfect final product, and bringing you guys to that point would be, in fact, doing his job. So I would say he did a good job for you guys.
Definitely, 100%.
he was so great to work with, you know. And when it came down to the mixing and everything, you know, he whatever we were envisioning, he did his best to capture that, but also doing his own tweaks. Because I remember he came up to me and asked, he's like, you know, how do you want this to be mixed? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you 5 albums, listen to them, and then come up with your own thing. And the albums I gave him were Van Halen 1. So you got Ted Templeman, Rat Out of the Cellar.
Oh Hill.
Oh hell.
Yeah, so you got Bo Hill.
Oh Hill.
Night Song, Cinderella, Andy Jones, I believe. And then you had Appetite for Destruction, so Guns, and then the last one was Quiet Riot, Metal Health. So I gave him those 5 albums. I said, what you're hearing on these albums, take one little piece of mixing that they did or style, put it together in this cake mix we're making, and sprinkle our original take on it. Boom. Put the cake in the oven. You got High Roller. You know, and just for little sprinkles on top, I said, listen to Tooth and Nail, Dokken.
Oh yes, yes,
Yeah.
for
So,
sure.
so that was a little bit of some sprinkle on this High Roller cake, for whatever we're calling it.
Interesting when it comes to
So now for your
High roller
next,
cake.
yeah, for your next and future projects, would you consider using Betto again and following the same process?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. He
I
has
actually
never.
said this.
He's.
I said this
Go
to
ahead.
the
Go ahead, Mike.
band. Yeah, I said this to the band actually. Our last rehearsal last week. Well, not yesterday, but before that. I had said, listen, if we ever make it big, and you know, we're taking Betto with us because Betto helped us a lot, and we like the way he produces, he mixes, he records everything. We wouldn't think of using anyone else but Betto. Betto is our forever producer.
Yeah, he
Awesome.
really helped us a lot, and he was a lot of fun to, not even just as a producer, but as a friend. You know,
Yeah.
we had a lot of good laughs with him in the studio.
Oh yeah.
Just a lot of good times.
Some
But
fun stories as well.
yeah, there was a lot of interesting times in the studio, and it was a lot of work, a lot of long hours.
Oh yes, a lot of hours.
Oh God,
a lot of money. Why I spent all that money?
I spent all that money making this album.
Hey, just like the intro to your album, you were all in for this one, baby.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Be honest.
Oh yeah.
How satisfied are you guys with the album and how it turned out?
Very
I'm
satisfied.
100% satisfied. It definitely couldn't have been better than what it is. I think Betto just he perfected everything.
Knocked it out of the park.
Everything, yeah, basically knocked it out of the park.
For an album by a band that's doing this on their own independently without any label backing it up and funding, you know, it was a hefty cost for us. You know, by the end, I think we were probably spent like a little over $10,000 to make this album happen. But for a low budget, as I guess they would call it, you know, it came out amazing. To me, I think better than some of the high budget albums that are out there today.
No,
You know?
it definitely. Can I be real with you? If we were in the 70s, early 80s, your music would be perfect for the radio. Because it sucks that music or radio music is not what it used to be in terms of rock and roll. Because you guys definitely have that sound in your current album in High Rollers, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So you guys really knocked it out of the park, and I'm excited to see. So, if you don't mind me asking, is there anything else you guys are working on for this year or next year coming out?
Well,
Marc actually has something cooking in the oven. We're not going to say what it is yet, but
He's got a few things cooking.
It's very, 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 very good.
So
we're so excited.
Yeah, we'll use the baking terms again. Marc has a cake ready. It's in the oven. It's just getting popped out, and then I'm decorating it and putting all the icing and everything together. So it's definitely going to be a sweet.
Mike's going to be the taste tester.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a sweet treat for a lot of fans.
It is going to be a sweet treat.
We don't have an exact time when the order will be ready, but we'll just say that it definitely be on the lookout and have an appetite for it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good slice of cake.
Can't wait.
That sounds great. Jamin, you got something you want to add?
No, I was going to say it sounds great, and I will definitely be looking forward to hearing that.
No,
man. I mean, from your like current album, like you guys said it, it's like you said low, but when I first listened to it, I was like, these guys are it, I'm like, it's like a resurgence of what we had back then, and like I would have never assumed that, you guys even consider it low. I don't know. It sounds like as professional as you can get, with what you guys had, and I don't know. It's solid. I can't wait. I can't wait for your guys' next album for sure. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm all in it for the cake, man. I'm in it.
I love it. I fucking love it. I love it. Your shit smacks. I will say that much. Your shit.
Thank you so much.
That's the next album cover. Instead of a casino, it sits in front of a bakery.
Oh, that would be a great album cover.
We had High Roller. Now next album's gonna be called Baker's Dozen,
featuring Martha Stewart.
Baker's Dozen.
Featuring Martha Stewart on it
and Gordon Ramsay.
And cooking out those empanadas and tamales.
Hey, bro, don't make me hungry, dog. Come on now. I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy.
It's gonna be.
Let's get the
it's
coffee
like rock
started.
and roll, with like a bunch of like pastry rolls, rock and roll. I don't know.
So
pastry rock and roll.
This would be a great question. Who writes your songs? Who writes the lyrics for your music? Is it a shared thing?
We all do.
We all kind of write.
We all do. We usually pitch in ideas. Sometimes we'll have like a rough draft written out. Mike and John would always either proofread it, and then they'll point out like, what if we change this to this? And it's always good to have a form of critique. And for us, it's a pretty good process. We know how to communicate with each other. We work this as a team, and if we see that it's good, then it's good.
Yeah, really with songwriting, it's like Mark said, we all have like a role. I write a lot of lyrics. Mark writes a lot of guitar riffs and songs. Mike puts in ideas as well and comes up with concepts, or sometimes we'll have something written down and he reads it over and he's like, "No, this doesn't work," and then he'll write something there and he's like, "Here." So we all have our input and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's fire and ice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like John likes to say, we make the rules.
Yeah, that's what I always say.
Fire and icing.
Because we've had discussions for like, I don't know if we should do it like this. What if people? It's like, no, we're the band. We make this. There's no rules. We make the rules.
We make our own rules with this.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah.
How long have you guys known each other for, if you don't mind me asking?
Ooh,
so I've known John since 2023. I've known Sparrow for 2 years, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Mike, I've known the longest. I've met him since 2019, and I've known him ever since.
Okay.
I've known. Yeah, so I met John at the first Fire and Ice rehearsal when our old guitarist Shane asked me to join the band. Sparrow, we all met at our first show, and like Mark said, I met Mark at a Steel Panther concert.
I like to set the record straight. I've known Mark actually since 2022, and it's funny enough, Mark. I remember the second time I spoke to you on the phone, you forgot my name.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That's so cool. And you guys literally have like an incredible chemistry for a group of guys that just met each other like in the span of the last mainly the last 3 years, if you really think about it.
We're like brothers.
We get along. We tell each other names.
Yeah,
we saw
laugh.
each other. If your friendship is not like surrounded by like insults and everything, then what kind of friendship is that?